You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Phosphorate, in partnership with Nexans and Siemens, brings to you Jamaica's largest electrical expo, and Business Access is here today for a two-part coverage. I'm your host, Amita Prasadweb, and thank you for tuning in. Please stay tuned for highlights.
Phosphorate, I think it's becoming a great company for a lot of Jamaicans. We started just about 25 years ago when we had only 2 persons.
So why an electrical expo now?
Why not? An electrical expo now is because Jamaica needs to understand that there are technology out there that can bring a lot of value and savings to the Jamaican construction industry. And so we need to, one, get that knowledge that we have with our partners to the consultants, to the contractors, the engineers, and even the schools, the educational institutions, so they can now start building this kind of a energy saving efficiency in their project. You see, it's important to note that you can buy a light bulb, which is fantastic. You can buy an LED tube, which is fantastic. We all sell those. But that will save you so much and no more. But if you build from your consulting base, from when you're building your project, you're designing your project, you build in the energy saving systems, then you can save so much more. We have decided to have these workshops, and we have decided to invite youngsters. We have a group from UTech, from Caribbean Maritime University, from Hart Training Institution. We have a couple more training institutions, and I think the number I have of them coming here today is maybe 150 of them in total. And they are being taught how these products work. Some of these products they would have heard about by reading books or whatever it is and so on, but now they can see them, they can feel them, and they can touch them. And that's what we are bringing to Jamaica today.
Picture this grand ballroom without lights, from the beautiful chandeliers, this stage without the use of this microphone, your factory spaces without pumps and conveyor belts, your homes without refrigerators. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Well, all of what you have just imagined yourself without has been made possible by electricity. And that is what we celebrate today at this, the inaugural Electrical Expo, being presented by Phosphorate Company Limited and their partners Nexans and Siemens.
And on that note, we take a short break, but more when we return.
Home is where all the sweetness, silliness, and beauty of life happens. Discover your style and express yourself with furniture from the Ashley Furniture Home Store. Visit any of our 2 locations at Ligony Kingston or Fairview Montego Bay. Find the most exquisite range of furniture in varying styles to suit your needs. So tell your story with elegant and affordable lounge, bedroom, dining pieces, and more from the Ashley Furniture Home Store. Here at Ashley, this is home.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa la 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 la? 60 advertising spots, 10 cross spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you. BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
This is Weekend Business Report. Economic windfall.
Unsecured loans.
Alleged corruption.
Follows the closure.
If they made this investment,
Brokers
strive to increase revenues.
He sought some answers.
Financial meltdown.
Here are the week's final. Here's Garth. News Roundup.
Camille, it's back to you.
That's Weekend Business Report with me, Keneal Gale. Saturdays and Sundays.
We're taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world. Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene. Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad. Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On Point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's join our presenter on stage.
I am standing here and I'm looking at a group of people and I'm seeing the future. And I'm saying this is exactly what we want to influence, the future. You look very well and we are very happy to have you here this morning. This Expo 2018 features industrial electrical products. As you know, Fosrich is in 3 or 4 segments of the electrical market. And today, this morning, we are featuring the electrical industrial product offerings that we bring to you from Fosrich. This expo also includes exhibitions and workshops. So what you will see around you are products that we do offer here at Fosrich. And then we will have workshops throughout the day at various locations, maybe 4 locations. We'll have workshops where you can ask your questions and you can get answers for whatever you are interested in. We have a responsibility, we think, to bring the best innovation in products that meet the need of the market in Jamaica, and that's why we are here. We will also demonstrate how these innovations can positively impact the building, construction, and the energy sectors of our country. For example, today Siemens will display some of their serious innovation products. A number of drives and contactors, and there is also a very, very interesting launch that will take place by the Siemens team today. The first time this product will be launched in this side of the world will be launched here in our expo. And so the soft starter workshop is one that I think a lot of the engineers and technical persons can't miss. So we are looking forward to that from the Siemens team. We are partnering to bring great results to Jamaica. And so we create strength we enhance knowledge, and we drive towards results as partners. And so this expo is a way of showing you that this partnership is something that can do what we've said, create strength, exchange knowledge, and drive towards results. We are offering what we call a one-point of contact solution for your projects. If you have your projects, you can bring your projects to Fostrich. We can help you to design your projects. We can supply the goods for your project, and we will do vendor financing for your projects. If it's too big, then this is why we have our financial partners here. Partnership again. And so we will make the connection so we can help you to achieve your project goals. So please, bring your projects to us. We can do what we say we can do. We are willing to work with you.
Fostrich has been one of the leaders in promoting and supplying LED lamps for domestic and commercial applications. We need to have energy-efficient workspaces. And I'll tell you a little about what we are doing at King's House. In King's House, we have started the process to become more energy efficient. Last year, we changed out all incandescent bulbs to LED. This has been done for all our exterior lamps and floodlights, as well as interior ceilings and wall light fixtures. Whenever air-conditioned units have to be changed, they are replaced with inverter units. All of the new kitchen and laundry appliances have Energy Star rating. Our computers and other office equipment go into energy safe mode when they are not in use. Stickers and posters are prominently displayed in offices to remind staff to be energy conscious. Solar panels are installed on the roof of the main building, and the garden lamps are also solar powered. 4 years ago, the Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining, MSTEM, applied tinted window film to the panes and windows in the main building and the administration block. This has helped to reduce cooling costs in the buildings. These initiatives have resulted in significant savings in our electricity bills. I think, ladies and gentlemen, that householders, persons in the building and construction industry, the electric companies, power producers, civil society in general, and the government have acknowledged and are very aware of the importance of energy efficiency and renewable energy in reducing energy costs. This will bolster the economy and contribute to a healthier environment. I hope that the exhibition and workshops at this expo will expose the Jamaican market to the innovative products that Fostrich can offer through its international partnerships. If last year's expo is anything to go by, participants will be in for an eye-opening exhibition of products and informative workshops as the company celebrates its 25th anniversary this year. It is with great pleasure, therefore, that I declare Electrical Expo 2018 open. Thank you.
We take our final break, but don't go anywhere. We have more highlights when we return.
You see island I wear, them are the best thing in the island I swear. Everywhere in the island I hear. Everybody with a eye problem, them a talk about the place name island I wear. Them a say, island I wear. Them a say, island I wear. Everybody with a eye problem, them a talk about island I wear.
Island Eyewear offers free eye testing every day, all day, at all locations island-wide. Conditions apply.
Island.
there's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
It's Season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
This Friday on Chill Spot, we'll be chilling at Uncorked with Valerie Grant, Managing Director at Geotech Vision.
I started Geotech Vision simply because I recognized that there was a gap in the market. There was no company that was offering a customized solution to customers.
Thanks for staying with us. If you are just joining us, we are here at the Electrical Expo. Please stay tuned for more highlights. Speak to us about feedback on the ground. What are you hearing from people?
Well, what I'm hearing from persons on the ground, it is very, very overwhelming. We're happy about it. A lot of persons are happy that Foster has partnered with Siemens, one of the largest and oldest company in regards to electrical controls, motors. They're a long staple for anybody who's been the old school engineers know what Siemens is. And it's a German-based company that we've brought here. And in our partnership, we are able to literally bring the first world, the newest technology here to Jamaica. And through our partnership, we are also able to build out, help persons to build out on any industrial, commercialized project that they would want to need. But these are the part of the projects that you don't see. You see a large building going up, a large hotel going up, a large manufacturing going up. They are the back-end stuff, but it keeps everything going. And through their partnership, a lot of persons are very happy. You have some legacy Siemens stuff that's out there. We are also now able to help persons who had Siemens long time ago and want to upgrade. Because you know that what's happening in industries, every industry, one of the buzzwords is energy efficiency. And in efficiency, it means that your old equipment needs to now become new and efficient. And Siemens has a retrofit for their older legacy products. And so we're able now to help persons who've had these projects working for years and are able to now get themselves current through those savings. The partnership with Nexans, the second largest cable manufacturer in the world, is meaning that what we're bringing is high quality cable to Jamaica at Jamaican prices. And we're able to have not just the fact that we can provide it, but we have such large stocks that we can provide any size project that you want to do. As I said, the cabling is the thing that you never see. It's buried underground or it's overhead. Forget about it. But it is really what moves us. All our power that comes from a utility comes through cabling, just to show you how important it is. And we do from residential cables up to what we're talking about today, the higher cables, the SVA cables, XLP cables. Now those may sound like French words for your acronyms, but those cables are very important. Cables that can operate in salt type conditions. So if you're doing, say you're doing a hotel or a guest house, 4 or 5 hotels on the north coast, and you're doing work on towards the sea and you have your building set up there, you have special cables that can operate in that kind of climate. Jamaica is a large country, but it's a very small island. And in such, as you go out a couple of miles, you're already at the coast. So you are affected by salt content in your air. So the zero halogen cable is one of the things that we're talking a lot about. One of the issues that in a lot of times that there are fires, most times before the persons get burnt to death, let's talk about it from that side. They're affected by the fumes. The fumes first is what kills. And those fumes are really, a lot of times, from the cabling, the electrical cables that are in the homes, the old type cables, they bring off a fume that fume can hurt you. The zero halogen cable are cables now that has that all reduced, and that cable is also able to take a longer time for you to get affected by those fumes. So you have a little bit of a chance that you can probably get to run out of the building before the fumes have totally affected you. And so, as I said, Nexans is a French company. So Fosrich went to Europe. We went to Europe, and we got 2 of the biggest powerhouses in Europe to partner with. We've also partnered with GE through current LED lighting that you're seeing. You see our utilities are changing out the street lights. After we did Sabina Park and lit Sabina Park, Fosrich as a company said, hey, guess what? If we can bring this value to Jamaica, even as a simple sporting event, we are saying that let's bring it everywhere. Let's bring it to your homes, let's bring it to your offices, your factories. And one of the biggest things for commercialization, what's happening, we're looking at a lot of industrial parks. There are a lot of footprints that have been set out, and that we're going to have industrial parks being built all over Jamaica, right? So to get to that concept, you have to have the building, you have to have the space, but then you also have the resources in regards to the power behind you, which is the cabling and the control panels and so forth. So that's basically where we are. We have a wonderful expo today. We have a lot of persons here, and they're very odd. Siemens just launched their new motor control soft start system. It is, if anybody who's out there who has not come down yet, it is really what they need to come and see. It is just phenomenon. I mean, I've seen a couple of the big powerhouse players come in, and they went into the seminar, and they're very, very happy and surprised of the capacity. Everything is just at a fingertip. You can get alerts through your phones. Smartphones is not just for just surfing the social media. It is also a work tool, and you can literally be anywhere in the world and you know exactly what's happening in your factory or your industry. And protection and efficiency, one of the things that affected us in our industrialization in Jamaica had to do with, we took a lot of time to modernize the older factories, and so a lot of them died. What we're talking about now is bringing that kind of modernization, because in most instances we know that our high utility bills is what is one of the factor that pulls down our capacity to be able to produce and challenge everybody else in the region. So we have to be very smart, and to be smart, you have to start saving. And you already have the footprint. You need the pumps, you need the motors, you need all of this industrial equipment, but you also need to know to do it smartly. And it says it's better to work smarter, not harder. And that's what Fosrich is doing, bringing the smart technology, so your equipment is not working harder, but is working smarter. It's also with the efficiency, it also now reduces your downtime. And another thing that where we lose a lot in our productions are downtime. No manufacturing in Jamaica now can afford a 1 hour downtime. 1 hour downtime, you have staff that's sitting there doing nothing. You have production capacity that you can't make up, because if you are to make 100,000 metric tons of something for the day, and you've lost half of the day, you physically can't make that 100,000 metric tons again. So those are some things that, after a day has gone, you can't get it back. Well, it's the same thing. After you've lost the opportunity to produce, you cannot make it up. You're only going to use up opportunity that you'd have had for the next day. And you know, we want to thank you and Business Access and your listeners and your watchers to come in. You know, thank you for being here and to be able to share this moment with us here at Foss Ridge. What most persons know in Jamaica are breakers and panels, and if you're in the industry, we have I think some samples of some of the Siemens products that we stock. Now, we have a wide range of breakers that we literally keep in our stock. We have multi-case circuit breakers, and these ranges from as low as 15 amps up to 1,000 amps. Now, these are what you're using in your various power line panels, your disconnect switches for your generators, and these are available in various wattages and various amperage and voltage based on the capacity. Different lug connections. There are different types that are available. These are they're transformers, and we do the full range. We stock anywhere from 5 to 40 kVA transformers in various voltage scenarios, 415, 440 volt. These push-button controls are the new design, new type that are available. They are available for all industry application, and we're talking about push-button switches that can operate in oiled type environment, harsh industry. These here can operate underwater, so you know, your wet, damp locations. You can have your start, stops, various switches. We have different key type scenarios where you can set up to give different application or different authorization to persons who are able to turn these off. Push button switches in all various push starts. This is one of the things that is big for Siemens, and for industries, you want hard, robust switches. The worst thing is to have your product, your plant go down because a switch to start the product is now down because it can't manage the rugged environment. The versatility for Siemens is that we have switches and push buttons and control switches for any application that you have available. In continuing with the Siemens line of products, this is a staple in any industrial application, any large electrical application. These are industrial P-line panels. I think affectionately most persons just call all of these panels power line panels, and we have available in stock at Foss Ridge from P1, which is power line 1, down to a power line 5. You know, these panels are able to operate even in outdoor applications, so you can have your large electrical cables come through into these panels.
And that brings us to the end of part 1 of our 2-part coverage of the Electrical Expo. I've been your host, Amita Prasadweb, and thank you for tuning in to Business Access TV, serious about business.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
Thanks for joining me in this Friday edition of Your Jamaica Magazine. We're here in Kingston at the Convent of Mercy Academy, or as most know it, Alpha. This is the first of 2 schools we'll be visiting today to conclude this year's GIS Heritage Tour. Come with me as we give you a taste of our rich cultural heritage.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, October 26. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has reassured residents in communities surrounding National Heroes Park that they will be protected in the development plans for the site. At a town hall meeting hosted by the Prime Minister last night, he said there was no plan to take people out of their communities.
The government of Jamaica intends to ensure that all our built spaces are sustainable, meaning that in their design and construction, they work in symbiosis with the environment. That is, they respect and preserve the environment.
He told the residents and other stakeholders that while some buildings would be removed, government's intention was to provide infrastructure for the community to grow organically. That includes repurposing several buildings with heritage value. To those who will be relocated, Prime Minister Holness promised that they would not be disadvantaged during the process, which would be conducted over a protracted period.
Residents who will be affected should have no fear. The government will put in place a fair, that is equitable, and transparent process.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has disclosed that the development to take place at National Heroes Circle will be put to tender. Mr. Holness revealed last night that a few companies that specialize in major developmental projects would draft the proposed plans. He stressed that the rules governing the procurement process would be adhered to, and the administration intended to ensure its engagement of companies was done in a transparent manner.
Once we have identified, we have finished the master plan, the procurement phase of it will be a competitive process. And so I want to just rest everyone at ease with that.
Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett says Trelawney is moving to take its place as a key player in the tourism sector. The parish has attracted some major hotel developments in recent years, and about 6,000 additional rooms will be added along the corridor from Rio Bueno to Falmouth.
The development here has proven a few things to us. One of which is possible for us to have turnaround time for major construction that is less than 18 months.
The tourism minister was speaking at the recent official opening of the Excellence Oyster Bay Hotel in the parish. $110 million has been invested in the first phase of the development, which also employed about 1,500 persons. Situated on the private peninsula of Oyster Bay, the resort offers an adult-only, all-inclusive experience to high-end clientele. It features 315 suites with expansive living spaces, panoramic ocean views, and direct beach access. Minister Bartlett predicts that within a few years, the combined inventory of Trelawney and Montego Bay will account for 2/3 of the hotel room stock on the island. Still out west, the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, will be starting construction on a state-of-the-art beach park at the closed Harbor Beach in St. James in January. The 16-acre property, also known as Dump Up Beach, will be transformed into a world-class, multi-zoned public space. The project is to be completed within 2 years at a projected cost of $700 million. Project manager at the UDC, Kerry Moore O'Connor, made the announcement at the recent Invest Mobay Breakfast Forum. He said the National Contracts Commission last week approved the project contract, which would now be submitted to Cabinet for approval. The park will feature a jogging trail, soft and hard landscaping, an outdoor amphitheater, multipurpose courts, a children's play area, food kiosks, and a boardwalk, among other amenities. Access to the facility will be free. And finally, the Jamaica Customs Agency, JCA, is implementing measures to improve its operations at the wharf. Importers and customs brokers have been experiencing delays in clearing domestic containerized shipments since mid-September. So the JCA and Port of Kingston recently convened a meeting with key import players as part of efforts to enhance service delivery at the port. That meeting explored strategies that will be used to reduce the delays at the Freeport terminal. The parties agreed to improve communication and facilitate better port coordination with the Kingston Freeport terminal. They also have committed to providing additional bays for the inspection of containers and making operational changes in areas which negatively impact clearance time and container examination. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Secondary level students enter the poster competition with digital or illustrated pieces, and tertiary level students, the photo competition is for you.
The topic for the poster and photo competition is Jamaica's music, the stage for growth and development.
All entries must be submitted by Sunday, October 28th.
For additional information, visit the JIS website at www.jis.gov.jm. Email heritageposter, all at jis.gov.jm.
We're dropping knowledge today. Like, did you know there's a program borrowing the principles of jungle survival and employing the use of modern technology to help students learn? Yep, Cheetah's in the classroom, and we're sitting in right now.
The cheetah is known all over the globe as the fastest land animal in the world. But right here in Jamaica, there is a special type of cheetah that is not only known for its speed, but also for its unique relationship with students across the education system.
So our company name again is Cheetah. It's an acronym, Connect to Higher Education, Electronic Tools, Application and Help. So I thought it was more appropriate to definitely have a mascot, a live mascot that symbolizes our company. Our students have really liked it in terms of we have done dancing contests. So a lot of times we could see, how can you dance better than a cheetah. Okay, so here we go. Are we ready? Are we ready? All right, let's start.
In addition to, and arguably more important than its engaging cheetah mascot, this self-funded informal charitable arm donates numerous educational content and electronic tools to selected schools across Jamaica. These institutions are chosen on a needs basis.
So the tools include some of our books. We have a lot of books that we have created. Some of them are already on the ministry's book list. Like for instance, we have a book, Not Another Me, which coincidentally aligns with the Ministries of Education theme about who am I. And it's a great book in dual language, Spanish and English. And the words of the book are lyrics to a song. And it's a nice reggae song, I'm a cheetah. And I searched all over and could not find another me. That's one of the many books that we have. And then we also have even our dancing cheetah toy, and I have him right here. Children love him, and so we have our books, we have our toy, we have our tablets.
We got approximately 80 tablets from the Cheetah project. We have been using those tablets for almost 2 to 3 years now, and they are helping us tremendously in reading and in mathematics. Students are now encouraged to use IT in their studies. And I'm quite certain when the students leave Norman Gardens for high school, they are going to be well prepared where technology is concerned.
I think it helps with my schoolwork so that they can learn how to do different types of addition, subtraction, multiplication. education and adult topics in
There's no way I know I could do it on my own. It's a big collaborative effort, and so I needed other persons to be on board with me. And so the first person I called was the person who I've interacted most, Ministry of Education. They have purchased most of my tools throughout the years.
The ministry has been in partnership with Cheetah Toys, as the company is called, since 2015. It has been going exceptionally well. She has also supported us in terms of scholarships for some of our students, and she's also participating in the development of PEP questions, working with our curriculum and other education officers. And last year, she actually did some GSAT preparation sessions for selected schools across the island.
The measurement for this line is what? 180. Now that I've drawn a line right here, what is the measurement for this side? 90. What is the measurement for this side? 90 degrees. So you're going to pray, and you're also going to do proper planning and preparation prevents poor performance.
So what we're trying to do overall is just to inspire the children, to encourage them, and also to give them some of the tools that we believe will help them to excel. So we want to also be considered as the teachers' helpers. We're not going to go in and do something entirely new. We want to work in collaboration with the teachers, recognize what they need, and see how best we can help to facilitate them.
And I know the question you've all been asking is, why the name Cheetah?
I've always loved the color cheetah. I'm wearing my tie today, but I usually love the print. And then later when I've done the research, I found that cheetah is so different. It has made a name for itself. It's the fastest of all the land animals. So I think that the cheetah has a lot to offer, and I think like cheetah, the students that we're trying to impact, trying to inspire, they could also make a name for themselves.
It is undoubtedly one of the oldest churches in Jamaica and the Caribbean. Its brick and mortar structure is said to have been laid over 300 years ago by slaves, and inside its walls are numerous antiques and prized possessions. This is the first of 3 unique and historical places we will be exploring in the parish of Clarendon today. Let's go check it out.
Welcome to St. Peter's Alley. I am Charmaine Langoth, and I'll be your tour guide. The original building was built in 1671. It was damaged by the earthquake of 1692, reconstructed, and then damaged again by the hurricane of 1951 and again reconstructed. This building holds many items of historic importance. To your left, up this steep and narrow staircase, you will witness the bell. It weighs 3/4 of a ton. It was built in 1857 by Messrs. Mayors, the same company that built the famous Big Ben in London. Let us continue our journey. And now we're going to look at our historic organ. It is actually the oldest in the Commonwealth Caribbean. We got it in 1847, and at that time it cost 250 guineas. As you can see, it is a piped organ. And if you look around the church, you will see our many exquisite monuments, wall and floor tablets mounted or laid in dedication to the dearly departed, and of course, our east stained glass window.
If you think this place is amazing, wait till you get to our next venue. So after leaving the historical St. Peter's Anglican Church in the small town of Alley, we went to the most southern part of the parish of Clarendon, where our friends from the Jamaica Caves organization will take us to our next destinations. Tucked away in the dense, dry limestone forest of Portland Ridge is some of Jamaica's most beautiful caves, the Jackson's Bay Great Cave and the Portland Cave 1.
Okay, this is Portland Cave 1. It's just one large entrance, and then there's a couple of other small light holy type entrances. We'll go down here just a little bit, and then we're going to get some lights going. Okay, right up above us in that bell hole, that's what that's called, with the dark staining, you can see a few bats up there. And down directly below, you can see fresh rat bat guano there. Yeah, that's a type of limestone, but it's more properly it's calcite or calcium carbonate. And calcite is a crystal, so when you get it nice and clean like that, you can see how sparkly it is. Yeah, down here, you can see these gours, these little depressions in the flowstone. These are called cave pearls. They can get a lot larger. There's another one there. And what they form where you've got water that comes and goes and comes and goes, but also flows a little bit.
Wow, who would have thought that Clarendon had such hidden treasures? 2 discoveries down, 1 to go. So I know you've all heard about the popular Milk River Mineral Spa, but did you know that Clarendon is also home to another outstanding mineral spring? 10 minutes east of Lionel Town is a popular cooling off spot for locals and foreigners, the Salt River Mineral Bath. The best thing about this recreational area is that it can be found right beside the main road and is completely free to enjoy. The spa, which is a pond with mineral water running from rocks adjacent to it, regularly sees patrons who visit for its healing properties or just for an evening of fun and relaxation. And if visitors ever get hungry, there's a host of food stalls with authentic Jamaican dishes to choose from, just like this one.
I love coming here, especially on a Sunday, to come eat the people in festival, because it tastes nice, of course. The water, the people, it's just nice.
Thank you so much, Sister Mercy, for that delicious meal.
The pleasure is all mine.
As you can see, the parish of Clarendon has more to offer than you know. All you have to do is get up, get out there, and explore.
Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs, redemption songs.
So after leaving Alpha, we journeyed to the neighboring Holy Trinity High, where another group of youngsters are celebrating all things Jamaican. By the way, in another 6 days, a whole month dedicated to these and other youth takes its turn on the calendar. But we're not waiting to educate, empower, and motivate our young people. Here's your dose of motivation for the day.
My name is Shanrai Dennis, and I'm the 2017 recipient of the PCJ Renewable Energy Scholarship to pursue a Masters of Science in Renewable Energy Engineering at the University of Technology, Jamaica.
The procedure for selecting a recipient of the PCJ scholarship was done through first a advertisement inviting potential students, whether recent graduates or persons who were interested in the master's program in the School of Engineering, to apply. We chose Shanora because he's someone who thinks deeper than the surface, and that is what a researcher needs to be. Not somebody who takes things at face value, but is willing to probe a little deeper. Interestingly, what impressed us in the interview was not so much his technical knowledge, which his academic performance already testified to, but he actually discussed some social issues at the time. Our conversation led us there, and we were appreciative of the perspectives that he shared.
With great powers come great responsibilities, so being given this scholarship, it's not just a scholarship for me to be selfish with, to get a master's and then migrate or whatever. It's for me to know that I'm being given an opportunity to make myself a better person and in the long run make Jamaica a better place. So I don't see this scholarship as a scholarship for me, but a scholarship for Jamaica. My goal or my dream is to see the social gap in Jamaica being reduced, to see everyone living more equal life, to see everyone being able to afford what they want, and in a sense to help Jamaica develop from third world status. In this field, renewable energy engineering, you need an expert in the field of renewable energy. It's a growing field, it's a relatively new field. After completing my master's, I'll be able to add further research first of all, that other persons can work, and I'll also be able to do applied research and actually have end products resulting from these research. Many people will look at me and probably pass judgment. They see a dark Rasta boy over there, so they say it doesn't have anything positive to offer to society, but that's not necessarily the case. Like, what I can tell you about me is that Shanrai Dennis is a humble, reserved, outgoing person, enjoys watching and playing sports, having discussions on various topics from politics and history to physics, technology. So I consider myself a versatile person. I love sports. I was involved in sports from primary school. I remember when I had GSAT, my father wanted me to focus on my studies.
While I was going to primary, I was checking his book, I always do. And I realized that on Wednesdays, there were no work done in his book. So he came home, and I said, I said, well, I'm not in your school on Wednesday, dear. I said, yes, Daddy. I said, I'm not seeing no work in your book on Wednesdays. I said, because him go play football for his school. So I said, it's not right.
I loved football, so while he would be thinking I'm at class, I'm out playing football. And he didn't know until, until a match that I played in featured on TV in which I scored 2 goals. so when I went home, he was like, so since when you play football or whatever, I think we had this talk. It's very important to know that you're living your life to the best that you can and you're not wasting it. So that's one of the driving factors behind me being so involved, because if I find something interesting, I'm going to do it. So when you have a packed plate and then you see something else you want to do, there's really only one thing I can cut back on, and that's sleep. And that's sleep. So if you have to reduce the hours you spend sleeping to do something you enjoy, I think it's worth it.
I've taught Shanoy from his first year at UTech, and taught him about 3 or 4 modules. When I observed him, he wasn't always working though, but he was never stupid with his free time. He rested and he did recreation in a healthy way, in a productive way, and he was a rounded person. So that's important. Just be rounded and be productive with all your time, not just academically.
So you see, I'm just here doing what I need to do, and I'm more focused on what I need to get done than the fact that I am actually a scholar.
And just like that, it's time to end today's Heritage Tour. If you're wondering why you didn't see more of those school tours we talked about, make sure you're watching Jamaica Magazine next week. In the meantime, feel free to visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more information about government programs and your heritage. I'm Sandra Clark. Have a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
I'm Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world, and you're watching Business Access.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious
about business.
Serious about business.
Welcome to part 2 of Business Access TV's coverage of Jamaica's largest electrical expo, the Electrical Expo right here at the Jamaica Pegasus, brought to you by Fosridge in partnership with Nexans and Siemens. I'm your host, Amita Prasad Webb. Please stay tuned for highlights.
So let's go with an exciting cable innovation from Nexans, the halogen-free cables. We are very, like in Nexans, interested in finding new solutions, safety solutions regarding cables. So I'm going to tell you a bit why. So, according to analysis, 98% of deaths due to fire are caused by suffocation and inhalation of toxic fumes. According to firefighting experts, more than 50% of the main causes are due to problems with electrical systems, electrical issues.
Easy to install cable solution for residential, industrial and public buildings. So what do we have? So that is in the agenda. So in practice, in a house, you have a different level of installation. Okay, you have the service entrance from the power networks, supply, distribution, and branch circuits. That's for a house. And for a building, it is that way. You also have from the public grid, then you have the service entrance, supply, distribution, and branch circuits. For all these parts, you need cables, no? to do the connections.
As to develop other categories, it's 6A and 7A, 10 giga. So it's a lot. And now Nexans is developing the 8A category of cables, which is higher, but it's used for what? For military applications. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but we need the signal is 0 and 1. Now we are developing quantic information that we can code for four digits instead of 2. So that is the next generation. It's yet an application. It does exist, but for military industry. So it's very early stage technology. But in the future, you will all have your quantic computer. So it's for tomorrow. So it's terabytes, tera, not giga. So it's much more information.
Talk to us about the main points in your presentation today.
The main points were the safety-oriented cables, halogen-free cables, that doesn't allow the fire to spread. And the other point was the local area network telecommunication cables.
What's next for Nexans?
Next, we hope to get better brand awareness here in Jamaica, to grow together with Fosridge, and I expect to go back very soon to see you again.
Why did you attend?
Because the School of Engineering includes the electrical program, which is electrical engineering, and we are always interested in what equipment is available to Jamaicans to see how we can ensure that our students get the best experience.
I find science exciting, so it's a learning experience in terms of getting the information, understanding how simple things that we take for granted works. And so it is a good thing that people who, whether you work in the industry or not, it is something that you should learn and understand the things that are actually around you in terms of electricity and the things that you pass on the street. You are passing street lights, you're passing stop lights and so on, and you don't even understand how they really work. And these guys are the ones who will tell you what's the background to all of these things.
It's time for a quick break, but please stay with us more when we return.
The Nissan X-Trail with Allmode Eye Technologies. no matter what the road throws at you. Your story starts here.
This Friday on Chill Spot, we'll be chilling at Uncorked with Valerie Grant, Managing Director at Geotech Vision.
I started Geotech Vision simply because I recognized that there was a gap in the market. There was no company that was offering a customized solution to customers.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
It's Season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
We are serious about the business of real estate, so catch Home Sweet Home Sundays at 4:30 p.m. or if you missed it, check our website at batvja.com.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. There are some students here, quite a number of students here. Why is it important that students attend expos of this nature?
It is actually important because one of the things I've found is that we're actually in the information age, but unfortunately people, we do not crave information the way I believe it was craved in times past. And so students are very much in that space now where they need to open their minds' eyes and become a little bit more familiar with what is out there in the world. And of course, the industry that we're in now, and in particular the energy efficient industry, because it's going to be impacting all of us, whether it is from a household standpoint or if it is from a business standpoint, all of us will be impacted in some way, shape or form. And so that is why it is quite important for students to be here to get this knowledge today in terms of the industry and its forward movement.
The information that's go across here today is very informative, and I learn a lot. I can take back all of this information, not just to the company, but also to my community. And I would advise that when we have program expo like this, a lot of business people who have maintenance managers should come and get all of these information so they can use it within the companies.
In the morning, a person comes to me and asks me if this is the smallest size or which are the sizes of the starters. Actually, you could see the starters just have three sizes in the complete module for the 3RW55 and also for 3RW52, and both are less than 200 millimeters by tip, so it's very tiny. So that the bigger one for 560 kilowatts, it's size 4, it's just this size, right? And also these starters has the 3RW55 has this innovative application that if you lose in one line a pair of thyristors, it still works with two-phase control. Just this one, the 3RW55. It means this product is robust, it's versatile, and it adapts to your applications. Okay, for the soft starter is enough.
Yeah, that's one question. How does the starter react to unbalanced input voltages?
Actually, these starters has the possibility to measure line by line the current, and also it could set a protection against unbalanced phase failure, ground fault, and also it's a natural protection. It's overload on up to class 30 in this one. So since class 10A, it means 7 seconds at 8 times the nominal current, and it could protect against low voltage supply. You said this lowest voltage it could supply, and it will respect that. This product has the possibility when you buy the Profinet solution, the Profinet module for the starter. That's it's an optional component. You are buying also a web server inside this component. So it means since your telephone, with your cell phone, you could access to the same web of this component, and you could check out which is the current, the instantaneous current, all the status, all the failures, and also you could check out if the unbalanced status is. Sorry? Yeah, with the web server. It's in parallel of the Profinet application, and also it has a special application for the model with 2 ports of Profinet, that you could establish an open communications protocol, OPC, with other components, and also with an HMI without any PLC. So you could set almost up to 8 starters to just one HMI, the comfort panel version of Siemens, without any PLC. The communication will be directly with this one to this one. And with Profinet, of course, it's a rare communication. You need the PLC to display the status of the component in the panels. Let me say, this OPC application could be for local reviewing, and the Profinet could be for remote applications, remote reviewing, and that's the point.
Talk to us about the main points of your presentation today.
Actually, the main point of our presentation is the possibility to reduce cost and downtimes in the industry, and it's important for the attendees to stay in the conference, because they will realize how to do these downtime reductions, and also they will realize how to do it and where to do it. So it's very important to reduce the cost of the implementation of a project, and also for reducing the time, for example, of a stop pump and stop motor.
Why is it important, or why is the information important for the attendees here today?
Because this information is used to communicate these smart control panels with a very bigger concept that is the Industry 4.0 that Siemens is managing worldwide. so they could see how it begins, and they will explain which the next steps of this concept.
We take our final break, but don't go anywhere. We have more highlights for you after this.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life. Highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show. And Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
On the next episode of Weekend Business Report, putting Jamaica at the fingertips of the world's richest investors, the business year gives the island another solo issue. That, plus company news, the top business stories, and the latest stock market numbers from around the world. That's Weekend Business Report with me, Keneal Gale, this Saturday and Sunday.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa-la-la-la-la? 60 advertising spots, 10 cross spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you. BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
Thanks for staying with us. If you are just tuning in, we are here at the Electrical Expo. Please stay tuned for more highlights.
So what is the meaning of this new equipment? What is the objective that we have? The first word is saving. We want to save money, we want to save space, we want to save energy. So this kind of equipment is going to make use of transparency to know how is our installation is. We establish in this principle that is the energy saving. We want to identify, for me, in my plan to have energy saving, I have to know how is the plant, how is the management of the plant, how is the energy flow, where is my potential of energy saving, and measure it. Or even if I making a saving, we are going to measure it to realize that it's okay. We are going to be focused on how we start a motor. We have to switch on a motor, we have to protect the motor, and the new tendency is monitor the motor. So this is the different kind of starter that we can find in the industry. We have a starter, we have a reversing starter. If I want to change the direction of the motor, we have a star delta. Why a star delta? You know that a motor, when it starts, is going to consume like 8 times the nominal current of the motor. So the induction motor is the most popular use in the industry because it has low maintenance and is very versatile. But it has the problem with the start. So all the way to start a motor is going to reduce the voltage that we administer to the motor when it starts. In consequence, we are going to get down the current of the start. Also, the torque of the motor is going to be reduced. So this is the way to start a motor, reducing the field of the voltage. So the start delta is a start that you feel the 58% of the voltage in the start connection, and that's going to feed this 100% of the voltage in the delta connection. So you are going to be reduce the induction. You will find a different way to start a motor, but it's the same principle. You can start it with resistance, we start it with auto transformers, we can start it with star delta, or also with soft starter. But the principle is the same. Reduce the voltage to have less voltage, so you will have less current and less torque.
We present about the industrial controls, all the equipment required for manage a plant, an industrial plant, like industrial control cabinets, soft starters, contactors, a new line of push buttons. Also, we present a new tendency that we call the Industry 4.0, that is the bringing the Internet of Things to the control of the industry.
What are your thoughts thus far on the Electrical Expo?
We hope that everybody goes from here with a new knowledge, and also we want to share all the experience that things and solutions that we do in other countries. So we will be the first step to start to make.
For those people who don't know, talk to us about Siemens and the brand overall.
Actually, Siemens do like everything. We're in the distribution energy with the power generation. We are in control for industry, energy management, and also we have a division for medical equipment.
The School of Engineering includes the electrical program, which is electrical engineering, and we are always interested in what equipment is available to Jamaicans to see how we can ensure that our students get the best experience.
We have some setups here in regards to what's available. What are your thoughts?
This is good. This is showing me some of the equipment that I do need and that I'm interested in for some of my students, yes.
Why is it important that students get involved and attend these types of expos?
My students who are graduating currently are seeking employment, and it does help them that they know the types of equipment are available. I know some of them are going into business for themselves, and they need to be exposed to what is available in Jamaica. And it does help because a lot of my students have been looking externally outside of Jamaica to purchase equipment or even to get employment. And it's good for them to see exactly what is here if they're going into business for themselves, who could be their suppliers, and they can advise other persons as well.
There are many individuals in Jamaica who want the products and services that Siemens and Nexans offer, but without a way of getting it here, and we found ourselves with the opportunity and we decided, hey, let's just go with it and showcase to Jamaica what is it that we can actually do for them. At Fosterich, our customers are always our main concern. We've always looked for ways in which we can improve the service and the product offerings that we have. And I think we pride ourselves on just being able to do that, and the fact that we have the customers at the forefront of our minds on any given day, which is every day of the week, because we're always looking for new and improved ways. And I dare say, because I don't think anybody can challenge me in this, that Fosterich is a trendsetter when it comes on to innovation and looking at finding products that are meaningful to how we live our lives and I mean, even with energy efficiency.
And that brings us to the end of part 2 of our 2-part coverage of the Electrical Expo. I've been your host, Amita Prasad-Webb, and thank you for tuning to Business Access TV, serious about business.
I'm Chris Williams, CEO for Proven. When I think of Business Access TV, 2 words come to mind: passion and performance. In the short space of time that they've been on air, has demonstrated clearly the Jamaican passion for anything that we set our minds to. They have approached television in the most creative and dynamic way, and I'm proud to see how this young station has evolved. In terms of performance, they back up what they say they're going to do. All their programs, all their packages, all their promotions are efficiently and effectively executed.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV.
Good evening and welcome to BATV News. I'm Keneal Gale. The government is hoping to save over $2 billion in rent money when they move several government ministries to Heroes Circle. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the revelation last evening during a town hall meeting in the area. The Prime Minister said even though thousands of families living on the 300 acres of land earmarked to be repurposed for the development will be displaced, they won't be left behind. Jamila Maitland has more.
The Prime Minister said the Heroes Circle development plan will result in the demolition and repossession of several buildings, causing the dislocation of many families.
There are some housing
that presently exists that will have to be relocated. There's no two ways about it. The process of doing that must consider, one, the importance of the building that is there. So there are some buildings that have historic value. They are heritage sites. I can think of a church that comes readily to mind, that you would want to incorporate that as a feature of the development. And there might be others.
But he argued that those who will be affected will not be left at a disadvantage, as the process will be fair and inclusive.
Residents who will be affected should have no fear. The government will put in place a fair, that is equitable and transparent process to ensure that you are not disadvantaged. The other thing is that it is not going to happen overnight. You're not going to wake up one day and that's it. It is a process, and it can take between 2 to 5 years if well managed.
The Prime Minister noted that the government has already successfully acquired several properties in the area. He shared some of the plans, which include the construction of some 14 government buildings.
The idea is that we would put up 14 ministries, government buildings in this area. Why? Because that then becomes kind of like the economic anchor to spark other developments. So that is a catalyst. So you get people coming into the area as a center of government, of service, of transactions, of interaction, and then other things follow.
The Prime Minister said the development will save the government at least $2.4 billion, which it now spends on rental. For BATV News, I'm Jamila Maitland.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness said his administration will not be deterred by criticisms of the government circle development. He argued that Jamaica needs action, and that is why his administration is building up the country's infrastructure, because previous administrations failed to do so. Here's more.
I am standing here at a point in time where Jamaica needs action. Do something. Do something.
Mr. Holness says one of the greatest challenges to Jamaica's development is the lack of implementation.
I am not coming with anything new. I am not claiming to be the great conceptualizer, the great dreamer, or the great visionary. I am only trying to build the plans that have been laid by our forefathers. Jamaica's challenge is not shortage of visionaries and dreamers and great conceptualizers. Jamaica's deficit is in implementation. It is in building. It is in action in getting things done.
He says the construction of the parliament was envisioned by Norman Manley. However, incorporating local architects into the design was conceptualized by his administration.
Let us for once have a process that we build on time and on budget as a demonstration to the world that we have the capability and the knowledge and the quality and the commitment right here in Jamaica.
The Prime Minister says the new building will be a public space accessible to everyone.
The Parliament will be a place for the public. It is your building, because it will be within a park. There is no intention to close off this area from the community. That is no intention whatsoever.
For BATV News, I'm Jamila Maitland.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, says the Producer Price Index, PPI, for the mining and quarrying industry increased by 3.3% during September. Statin released the latest figures yesterday. Norja Francis Williams has more.
Statin says the increase was mainly due to a 3.4% jump in the index for the major group bauxite mining and alumina processing. The index for the manufacturing industry also recorded an increase for September, going up by 1.6%. This increase was attributable to the index for the highest weighted major group, food, beverages, and tobacco, which moved up by 1.8%, while the major group refined petroleum products increased by 3.0%. Meanwhile, there was a 2.1% decline in the point-to-point movement in the index for the mining and quarrying industry for September 2017 to September 2018. The manufacturing industry advanced by 8.4% in its index during that period also. This movement was due mainly to increases in the major groups. Refined petroleum products, which went up 32.5%, and food, beverages, and tobacco up 3.9%. In the meantime, for the fiscal year-to-date April 2018 to September 2018, the index for the mining and quarrying industry and the manufacturing industry recorded increases of 7.9% and 5.8% respectively. For BATV News, I'm Nordy Francis Williams.
And when we come back, JFF wants corporate Jamaica to hop on to the Reggae Girls bandwagon. This and more after the break.
Growth Tech is making connectivity like oxygen. Wherever you see the Growth Tech free Wi-Fi, feel free to connect. Watch, connect, and go, allowing you to chat, check, browse, and email securely. So when you're on the go and need to connect with friends, family, or a team member, or just stay updated, look for Growth Tech's free Wi-Fi. Growth Tech, making connectivity like oxygen.
Welcome back. Chairperson for Women's Football at the Jamaica Football Federation, Elaine Walker-Brown, is calling on corporate Jamaica to provide some financial support for the Reggae Girls, who created history by qualifying for the Women's World Cup in France next year. Mrs. Walker-Brown was a guest on BATV's business discussion program On Point last evening. Tashana Small has more.
We did it basically with two persons assisting us. If corporate come and put their brand with the Reggae Girls, assure that they will get value.
Elaine Walker-Brown says the talent within the Reggae Girls team is unquestionable. She notes that the Federation was able to help the young players develop their talent only after getting some financial support, but the team still needs help.
All girls can play, but we didn't have the resources, we didn't have the funding. And when our ambassador came on board, and she sought that funding for us, that's when everything changed, because we were not only able to go and participate, but we were able to have practice games leading up to the games. Years gone by, we leave Jamaica and we're going into a tournament. The girls are new to the sort of pitches, they are new to flying, some of them are flying for the first time, but it's different now. They are exposed now, so they know what they are getting into. So finance was a problem.
She says the Reggae Girls made it this far with very little financial support, but she hopes more companies will get on board since the team has now qualified for the World Cup.
It is hard. The only corporate believe in us was Sherwin Williams. Well, SDF in the early years when we decided to go to Schoolgirl League, when it was Mr. Michael All there, he was very interested in schoolgirl football, and captain took it over, but not much corporate is responding to us. We hope now with this, we stay. We don't go to World Cup now and then we come back as not, and we want to prepare, and we don't want to go there and nobody bashing us and giving us so much love. We want Jamaica, corporate Jamaica, to come assist us.
In the meantime, sports analyst Leighton Levy says the media should take some responsibility for the lack of support for the girls.
There's a significant bias in how we cover women's sports in Jamaica.
Generally.
Right, generally. Right? When when you look at the number of column inches that any male sport gets in Jamaica, it's like 85% of any news coverage.
Even if they're losing.
They can't get the support because they don't get the exposure. The reason why they can't get the exposure is because there's a significant bias against women's sports. And women, I mean, when you look at what they're doing, for example, you know, this is a team that created history.
He says although return on investment is crucial for companies, they should also balance that need with their corporate social responsibility.
Yeah, we get that corporate has to get some kind of their pound of flesh for the money that they spend. But one of the things that I've always advocated for is that everything is going to return as investment immediately. I believe that there should be some amount of, I don't know what you characterize it as, but
corporate social responsibility.
Well, yeah, call it that.
And he maintains that because of the quality of the team we have, getting a return on investment is very possible.
We have a women's team that is so good that they're the third best team in CONCACAF. They are one of the best teams in the world now.
Yes, yes.
Let's throw some support behind them.
For BATV News, I'm Shoshana Small.
President of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, Lloyd Distant Jr., says now is the best time for the government to remove personal and corporate tax and abolish the 5% surf tax on personal income. Mr. Distant was also a guest on BATV's business discussion program On Point last evening. Here's more.
The new president of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce says the time has never been better for the government to flatten taxes.
Here's why I think is probably a better time now. Business confidence is at the highest it has been for in the 20 years that we've been doing the confidence indices. In fact, the consumer confidence this last quarter hit the highest level it has ever gotten to. We've unprecedented levels of investments that are taking place by the business community. In the survey, 68% of businesses that were interviewed said that they're getting ready within the next 12 months to invest back into their business. We've never seen that before. So, people tell you some things never happened before the time, or some great ideas have come out, but they've just not been implemented because the environment is not right. We are of the opinion that the environment is right for government to start to drive some of these things out.
He says there are other ways to generate income for the government other than taxes, and it's better if businesses have this cash in hand to grow their businesses, which in turn will grow the economy.
Less tax, no tax essentially, no corporate income tax. Those companies reinvest, they look to grow the bottom line of their business.
They hire more,
that's right, the statutory returns to the government are higher than they would have been under normal circumstances. The return to the government from general consumption is higher than would have been under normal circumstances. So we're very much on this very similar path that you have raised, which says there are other ways to create an income for the government. It would still be some form of taxation. But when that income comes into government, then they can support the social program.
In the meantime, the JCC president says the chamber will also be encouraging the government to focus on Jamaica's holistic development.
We speak about the social imperatives that goes behind everything that needs to take place here. Our legs and regs, what we call them legs and regs, legislation, regulations, and process improvement committees very much focused on looking at those types of those areas. So where the government is looking at new legislation, then we are going to be an advocate at the front end of it to say, look, here are the other things that we know need to be.
For BATV News, I'm Shoshana Small.
Come next year, persons who visit the courthouses and the justice centers across the island will be able to access free Wi-Fi. The deal was signed this morning between the Justice Ministry and the technology company Growth Tech. Javon Keys tells us more.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says the move to provide free Wi-Fi at courts and justice centers across Jamaica is in line with the government's goal to improve technology in these locations.
So with free Wi-Fi, it allows them to be able to communicate with their families or keep in touch with the rest of the world. In appropriate cases also, they may well be allowed to video what is taking place in court or even live stream on their phones, if it is approved by the Chief Justice. Because in the courts themselves, we expect that in short order, the courts will live stream, save and except if there are sensitive matters, such as the identity, say, of sensitive witnesses should be protected, then that is also a matter of some concern.
He says priority installation will be given to the Court of Appeal and civil courts.
At the beginning, I would expect that, you know, in the Court of Appeal, in the civil courts, and in the Supreme Court, and then thereafter civil courts across the island, because usually in civil courts it's fairly material that only the parties who are interested, you know, can live stream. So if in a civil case, I don't think there's that much danger. But in criminal cases and divorce cases, matrimonial matters, there is no doubt that the Chief Justice will have to give instructions.
Meanwhile, CEO of Growth Tech, Neil Lawrence, says the service will be executed similarly to what was done on the Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC buses.
So this is basic connectivity, and it's a limited time. Very similar to the JUTC now. The JUTC now is at a 15-minute timeline. Regardless, you still can connect as many times, but we may adjust that time for the courthouses and so on, because your visit is obviously a lot longer than on a bus. But the objective is to make Jamaicans as a whole keep connected for as long as possible so that they're more productive.
For BATV News, I'm Javon Keys.
Stay with us. Regional and international stories are up next. On the next episode of Weekend Business Report, putting Jamaica at the fingertips of the world's richest investors. The business year gives the island another solo issue. That, plus company news, the top business stories, and the latest stock market numbers from around the world. That's Weekend Business Report with me, Keneal Gale, this Saturday and Sunday. Welcome back. Time now for regional and international news. Households impacted by flooding in Trinidad and Tobago will begin getting lump sum grant checks of $15,000 and $20,000 to replace damaged items. TTT News' Ian Wason has more.
Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said Cabinet took a decision on Thursday morning that it would be reasonable and affordable to give flood victims a lump sum grant instead of several small grants. These grants will be valued at $15,000 and $20,000 to replace damaged items. However, for people living in Greenville, they will not be eligible for further assistance to repair their plumbing or electrical, as this will be undertaken by the HDC. The Prime Minister said Cabinet also took a decision to let tenants live rent-free and mortgage-free until January. He said while the response to the flooding was good, there were some areas where more could have been done. Among those areas, there could have been more rafts to help persons.
Those persons chose to remain there. And I mean, I understand why, because even though you're in that situation, in many instances you are more comfortable in that situation than in a shelter. Because in the shelter it is such a disrupted environment that you're sharing a common space with maybe one or two toilets in a community center. People rather stay in their homes and maintain some element of privacy.
The Prime Minister reiterated the grants issued are not a compensation, but assistance, stressing there is a difference between the two. Ian Wason, TTT News.
Telecoms giant Digicel has started negotiations with the Antigua Public Utilities Authority in a bid to share spectrum space and explore other opportunities. More from ABS News' Jamie J. Roche.
APUA wants access to Digicel's Ornesi cable, which allows non-residents to roam while visiting this country. Digicel wants access to APUA's poles and buried fiber optic cables, which would enable it to reach more customers.
So I think once we're able to tread this issue in terms of
how there can be some common use of both these essential facilities, I think we would have made some major progress towards resolving this long protracted issue.
Telecommunications Minister, the Honourable Melvin Nicholas, says no decisions have yet been made and similar discussions will be held with telecoms company Flow. Equitable division of a special section of the country's electromagnetic spectrum is also under discussion. Cabinet says the former government unequally divided the spectrum, excluding APUA.
Pressure is now rising on governments to lift taxes on sanitary products in a bid to end period poverty. Period poverty refers to girls who cannot afford sanitary products and end up missing days of school as a result. South Africa's government has removed the so-called tampon tax, but some believe more should be done. Here's more.
A round of applause for South Africa's new finance minister, who's promised that from next April the 15% tax on sanitary pads will be scrapped, and is pledging additional funds to ensure female students have access to feminine hygiene products.
It's something that everyone needs, every girl needs, and if this can be made available at a better price, at cheaper prices, it makes it easier for everyone to just afford it.
But some say the move doesn't go far enough.
Why do we have to pay for something that we have no control over? This is something God-given. We should not be paying for sanitary pads at all.
Period poverty is a global issue. A 2016 study by Human Rights Watch estimated that 1 in 10 girls in Africa are having their education interrupted because of their periods, a problem made worse by a reluctance to talk openly about what is for many a taboo subject.
Young Malagasy girls are always isolated during their period because it's women's business. The other members of the family don't even talk about it, and biology lessons are really theoretical. They're taught things they don't even understand.
It's an issue that's also been debated in many developed countries. Menstrual products are expensive, and high tax rates can make them even more difficult to afford. Australia and Canada have scrapped the controversial tampon tax, while the UK is channeling money raised from the levy into a charity fund.
It's been more than a year since U.S. trade and economic sanctions against Sudan were lifted. But since then, the country's economy has continued to struggle with cash shortages in banks and a soaring inflation rate. Al Jazeera's Heba Morgan reports.
Ibn Omar Mohammed is trying to withdraw money from his own account. He needs cash to put food on the table and support his family. But he says it's often not possible.
I wanted to withdraw £5,000 or about $85. And a few days ago, I couldn't withdraw at all. Sometimes there's money, sometimes there's no money in the banks.
Economic problems began more than 2 decades ago when the U.S. imposed financial sanctions, accusing Sudan of supporting terrorism. Most of the sanctions were lifted last year, and Sudan devalued its currency in January. But the economy has taken a downturn, with inflation rising to nearly 70%. People are withdrawing more of their cash to keep up with rising prices. But in recent months, banks announced they didn't have enough funds to meet the demand.
People came to us asking to withdraw money. Depending on the cash we had, we could either serve them or we couldn't. And if we couldn't, we told them to look for other ways to handle the finances, such as transfers or checks. We want them to find alternatives to overcome the liquidity crisis.
But that may not be easy. Since U.S. sanctions were lifted last year, many Sudanese had high hopes that the economy would improve. Instead, getting cash from banks has become more difficult. That's because sanctions weren't the only thing hurting Sudan's economy. Sudan relies on oil exports for about 70% of its income. But that took a big hit in 2011 when South Sudan, with 70% of the oil reserves, became a separate country. The government recently announced it would tighten previously introduced austerity measures even further in an attempt to ease the situation.
All tax exemptions will be slashed except for materials needed for production. Some vehicles provided to officials will be withdrawn. We also plan to establish a commodity exchange for gold and currencies to reduce the average inflation and stabilize the exchange rate of the pound.
A crisis that has forced Ibn Omar and many others to live day by day with little cash or sometimes no cash at all. Heba Morgan, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
Stay with us. Talking Stocks comes up next.
This Friday on Chill Spot, we'll be chilling at Uncorked with Valerie Grant, Managing Director at Geotech Vision.
I started Geotech Vision simply because I recognized that there was a gap in the market. There was no company that was offering a customized solution to customers.
Welcome back. Time now for Talking Stocks. 52 stocks traded today, of which 12 advanced, 30 declined, and 10 traded firm. The main JC index declined by 7,317 points to close at over 358,000 points. The junior index advanced by 17 points to close at 3,314 points. Almost 5 million units traded today, valued at over $78 million on the Jamaican dollar market, while on the US dollar market, more than 5,000 units traded, valued at over $3,000 US. JMMB Group 7.5 preference shares with over 1.6 million units trading accounted for 33% of market volume. Jamaica Broilers Group with over 700,000 units trading was second. Jamaica Stock Exchange ordinary shares with some 400,000 units trading was third, accounting for 9% of market volume. The main advancers were Siboney Group up 4 cents to close at 17 cents, followed by T-Tech ordinary shares up 43 cents to close at $5, and the Jamaica Broilers Group up $1.58 to close at $29.71. The main decliners were Sagicor Real Estate X Fund ordinary shares down $1.63 to close at $13.20, $5 investments down 23 cents to close at $2.75, and Kingston Wharfs down
analysis, we can understand